Hi everybody, it's Marty. Welcome back to my channel. And for those that are new and have just stumbled onto this video, I am a woman of a teen, transgender, transsexual, whatever you want to call it, experience. And I will pop up a card here that will take you to a video of mine that I talk in length about my journey from when I was 15, 16 to today at 56. And I hope that helps you out. And for those of you that come back to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe or consider doing so by touching my little face down there. And when you do that, tap the notification button and then you'll know when I do an extra video like I'm doing this week, or when I'm doing a live like I did last Sunday. And that's the reason why I'm doing this video, because I did a wonderful live stream last Sunday. Some of the main things we talked about was TERFs, transgender, exclusionary, radical feminists, and my fears around that and my dysphoria around that because of something that I am going to be doing next month. And I talked about relationships, and we talked about surgeries, and we talked about hormone replacement therapy and all that stuff too. So if you want to check that out, I'll pop up a card here and you can go to that live. I also wanted to amend some of the things that I said wrong, because in a live you can't edit. Like I said, my next live was on Friday, my live chat, general chat, but I do them on Sundays, live chat. Friday I do not do a live, so I just wanted that to be known. And also, please remember that my opinions and my views on what I talk about on the stream are my own. So let's get back to the questions that I missed on the live that I think were really great questions, okay? Yeah, one was from Eye of the Needle. Hi, Eye of the Needle. I don't know your name, that's your handle. And they asked if I had any facial feminization surgery, FFS. And I didn't even really know that that was a term until I started on social media. I guess the answer is yes, in a way. I had my nose done when I was 19. If you go to my social media links and you click on to my website, there's a picture of me when I was 16 or 17 in there, and that's my old nose. It just had a little bit of more bulbous nose there. If I had that nose now, it's like I wouldn't have done it, but everybody was getting aquiline noses, and that's when I was doing some ramp modeling and trying to get into the modeling business. And yeah, everybody was having the aquiline nose. And when I first saw a modeling agency, they said, lose 10 pounds and get a nose job, so that's what I did. So that's it, that's all I did. And then I had my lips done as I got older. It's like in my mid-30s, I had this lip, had my lip just lifted a little bit because I had a small upper lip, and then I had a little bit of a kind of a piece of fettuccine, I guess it's silicone or something, put in there. And then just 2 months ago I had my first injections done, but that's it. I've never had anything else done. Nothing. That's it. That's all. But I do plan in 2020 to get my first facelift. Yeah, just ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. Yeah. And in there too, they suck out fat there and they put it, because I've got orbital things. I don't get puffy eyes. I got the orbital sockets, and because I've got those chiseled cheekbones, so it's like it really drops in there, so that fills it out. Yeah, so that answers the FFS question. Yeah. Oh, and then Raquel K, I hope you were around when I did talk about this, because you asked about Tiggy, and I don't think I even talked about Tiggy yet, so thanks for remembering my sweet sister who died at 28. That's one of the things that I said wrong too, is I said Tiggy died at 18, but it was 28 when she died. But yeah, you mentioned about, was Tiggy upset about body changes like body hair growth was she on hormones to block testosterone? I think I mentioned that back in when we were kids and stuff. hormone blockers weren't even like talked about. Like it was probably like in the mid 80s they started using spironolactone and stuff like that. And I think Tiggy tried it for a while, but she didn't like the effects of it. And the hair growth was happening so much already for her, so it was really hit and miss with her. And so she had her own, she had one of her bedrooms was a whole spa thing, and she just waxed for days and everything. And yeah, it was really frustrating for her. And unfortunately, there wasn't the support and everything there, so she kind of thought that she missed the boat. She was really upset about that. Thanks, Raquel, for that question. Oh, the other statement was when I was talking about SRS, we were talking about SRS on the live, and Louise Richardson, she said, I had SRS in 1977. She says, I think the clitoris is in the wrong place. And I so appreciate your honesty, Louise, because that's part of the reasons why, 1980 I was scheduled the first time, and I flew into Toronto with Dr. Lindsay, and I think I talk about it in one of my videos, and I talk about this woman that I met at a bar right after seeing that doctor. It was just like, divine happenstance, and she dragged me in the bar, and she showed me, and I don't know why back then it's like everybody wanted to show their vaginas to everybody, and I was just like, because it did not look right, and I was terrified. And I remember coming back to Vancouver right away and talking to my sister, and my sister said, just put it on the back burner until you get really good. She says, you've always been my sister anyway. So thanks, Louise, for mentioning that. Oh, and Leanne S., you mentioned a lot of times about that you remember me at the Gandhi Dancer, that I went there once in a blue moon, like with, because it was mainly a gay club, and I was more into, like, by that time in Vancouver, I was more into like the punk club scenes and stuff. And you said that you didn't know Tiggy, but you probably did remember if you saw her. So, if you want, follow me on one of my social media platforms and search through stuff, and you'll see pictures of Tiggy, and that might trigger your brain. So that's really cool. And you lived on Barclay Street, it said. So yeah, I think I lived on every street in the West End at some point. And you said you remember Amanda Hughes. Yeah, it was so sad that she died. And like I said, AIDS did not discriminate. Cis heterosexual women like Amanda Hughes, an amazing up-and-coming R&B soul artist, and she died. Yeah. So thanks, Leanne. Yeah. And so good that you survived that too. Yay. Yay. And then NYC talked about having an orchidectomy and stopped taking hormones completely for a few months, and you started to get extremely stressed and extremely fragile. Tiggy and I used to call it like the hormone blues, and it's like, the short times that I was on it with Tiggy, we used to write songs called the Hormone Blues, and singing stuff like, it was kind of like, I'd add a sentence and then she'd add a sentence, and she goes, got them beaten by my man, I got those beaten by my man, black-eyed hormone blues. And then she'd say, I got the landlord pounding on the back door, beaten by my man, black-eyed hormone blues. Because I remember when I was young, it used to be young, and that's part of the reason why I think I stopped doing it. And like I said, you have to talk to your doctor, endocrinologist, all that stuff too, because it was safe for me too, because there's, everybody has different levels, different anomalies going on, yeah. So I feel more level than I ever have, for decades now. Yeah, so I feel good about that. So thanks, NYC, for that question. Yeah, and then Leanne, you did mention again, you talked about Dr. Stanley Biber doing SRSs in the 80s. And that was the second doctor that I had scheduled, sent the money to, and I canceled, and it was 1982. And I know he got really good and stuff like that too, but even my surgeon that did me, it's like there was a lot of horror stories I've heard from other people. You know, it just, some people's bodies react differently. And yeah, a girlfriend that went 6 months before me, or I don't know, I can't remember exactly how long, but she came back and something really, I'm not even gonna mention it, happened, and so I canceled again. And I just thought, okay, I gotta wait for them to get better. So yeah, a lot of 80s, Dr. Biber was huge. Dr. Lindsay in Toronto was huge. That's the other one that I canceled on. There was one in Wisconsin too, I remember. I can't remember who it was. Yeah. That wasn't an hour. I'm still talking.
Oh. It's close.
I know, can you give me 10 minutes?
Oh, okay. So we gotta eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just gotta wrap it up now before I get sick.
Where's my phone?
I know.
Hey, honey.
Hi.
Can sit with me.
Aw. Hontus Farmer wrote, how do you think your life would have been different if you were born in 1995 or 2000? Great question. So I think I talked about that before in some videos, that I believe that if I was born, yeah, so 2000, I'd be 18, 1995, I'd be 23. I think how my life would be different is that I would have skipped all of the sex industry because I hated it all the time anyway. I probably would have went right into, I know I would have went right into college, into a theater program, right into all that stuff. And honestly, I don't know, like the older I get, the more I understand the non-gender conforming people and stuff. Because I lived non-op for so long, I think if I would have been born in a more enlightened age, like 1995 or 2000, especially with, you know, if I had parents that didn't shame me and stuff, I probably would have explored more. Sorry, my lips. I probably would have explored more. And yeah, it would have been pretty interesting. I think I really would have. Yeah, I think with women and men and trans men, oh, I don't know. It's like I just would have been way more open because I could tell. Because I remember when I went down for the surgery finally, and I was starting to meet a lot of really hip women and men that were more. We didn't have the word non-gender conforming back then yet, still, but they were like that, you know, like Kate Bornstein was out with Gender Outlaw and all that stuff, and I could really understand it, but I knew that, you know, it is nature nurture, right? So it is nature nurture, you know, so part of it is the way that my brain thinks, but a lot of it is environmental too, you know. And because I was born in the prairies, I was born, you know, with a mother, you know, that had a modeling agency, and, you know, girls were pageant. That's the way my head was. And so I just thought that right out of the gate. You know, things changed as I ran away and found, you know, women that were into punk rock and all that stuff too. So I realized like you could be a real strong woman and all that stuff too. But I had to be, my idea of a woman was getting that fixed right away, no questions asked. But as time went on, it was kind of like sad when I went down there, because I remember talking to my friend and saying, can you believe that I have to do this just to feel okay in this world, you know? And yeah, so it's a really interesting question. Yeah, I think things would have been a lot different. And you know, I may have still got it too, but I probably would have not been so, well, the world's different. Like you can there's so many different types of communities now too, and I was very open-minded and adventurous, but you know, the world wasn't, and our segments of society, and even in the LGBT scene, like it was, the gays were kind of straight in a way, you know? Like if you watch Pose and you see how they reacted to MJ Rodriguez, Bianca, in that episode, in that bar, yeah, it shows you how, you know, how far we've come. So great question, Hontus. Yeah, again, and then people were asking about the HRT, about me not taking it, and NYC asked about what about menopause symptoms after not taking hormones, and I mentioned, well, I feel like I've always been in menopause. I made the decision based on quality of life and how I feel on hormone therapy. And I think everybody has to do that in every part of their life, and especially as you get older, you have to realize what makes you feel the best. And yeah, estrogen in, like, you know, I eat a lot of legumes and, you know, garbanzo beans, all that stuff too. So I'm mainly vegetarian. So a lot of them say that they have a lot of estrogen properties. I don't know. I think you'd have to like eat like truckloads of it, type of thing. But they say with the, you know, a lot of exercise, you get that pituitary gland going from exercise, and, you know, eating right, and meditation and yoga, all that stuff, you know, to keep the adrenal system nice and calm, so you're not freaking out like over things. And yeah, I think I can do it. I can do it with that. So far so good, you know. And Paige MC, Victoria Page, hi honey, and that was your first live. I saw that, it was so cool. So I'm glad you joined us. I didn't even see, because everything was going by so fast, but you wrote, I remember in the 1970s we could get our hormones on the street. We would go to this older trans woman in Toronto for an injection. I got hepatitis from it. Horrible. I hate, I'm sorry that happened to you. And yeah, the horror stories, you know, are endless of what happened to so many of us, getting our stuff on the street and whatnot, because to find like a doctor that would take you, you know, it was really hit and miss, like to trust to talk to a doctor, or, you know, you really had to find who the clinicians were, especially in Canada. Shannon the Cool wrote, how would you feel if you wanted to transition but could not manage to find a way to get to your comfort level? Yeah, I think I would feel really messed up. It would be really hard. I think for me, getting therapy so young and talking about it, talk, getting it out with therapists, helped me make that decision, because if, you know, I wanted to do it so bad, and I think that comfort level was always uncomfortable. Like, look at the world we live in. So it almost just gets to that jumping off place, like when you're gonna jump off a rock to go into that water that's like so far down, and you just have to do it. That's kind of what it felt like. I just finally just had to do it. Yeah, because I don't think it was ever comfortable. You know, I know that it was a relief afterwards, and, you know, I felt like a fish going upstream, like I just had to do it, you know. But it was definitely, you know, I definitely believe that I needed to have that, to be walked through it with a lot of friends, a lot of therapists, and, you know, I'm glad that there was a lot of gatekeepers when I was young, because it happened when it was supposed to happen for me, you know, because I may have not have been able to handle it when I was really young, because like I said, I was an addict alcoholic. I had to like deal with that stuff, you know, first. And luckily I was sober when I, you know, did it, clean and sober. Yeah, so that's a hard one. It's a personal one for sure. Oh, Louise wrote, "You are so beautiful to be off hormones most of your life. I did get by for more than 20 years without HRT." Well, thanks, Louise. And it's true. It's, if you saw my brother and my sister, we all look like weird, bug-eyed aliens, you know? So it's kind of like, just kind of like the luck of the draw, that, the Norwegian Polish mix that we got. But yeah, it's, and I always had that kind of fleshiness to me, so I don't know. That's just the way it is. With some people, luck of the draw. Like I used to say, I was blessed with the curse, you know. Now I know I was just blessed. So, thanks, Louise. Oh, and Cleo Bijou, talked about Tiggy and said that she was gorgeous. I saw her, Tiggy, on the documentary Hookers on Davie. Yeah, that's in my playlist on must-see. I've got must-see transgender info and videos, and Hookers on Davie is in there. It was done by Janice and Holly, and I do believe it won a Genie Award, which is kind of like the Oscars for best documentary in 1985 or something like that. It won. And yeah, Tiggy's in that, and oh god, it just kills me watching it because Tiggy wanted out of it so bad back then, but she couldn't, and that was the time when she should have been pulled out of it. And with all the advocacy and outreach today, she could have done it, but you know. Raquel, hi Raquel. You wrote a few things, you were really commenting and stuff with everybody, and I thought that was so awesome. You said, "Yeah, Marty, you're very lucky you never masculinized." Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was lucky to be androgynous my whole life. Thanks, Raquel. Oh, and NYC asked, once you go on top of the muscle, are you not able to go under the muscle? And no, you can go under the muscle. He gave me the suggestion last year, if I was gonna go under the muscle, if he was gonna do it under the muscle, I'd have to do that lollipop lift, so I'd have to have a lift too, because I've had them, you know, for like over 35 years, so the skin would hang, right? So it's like I'd have to have that lift too. So that means a major cut there and underneath there. And then after he examined me, he says, if you don't mind going a bit bigger, and he could make this pocket smaller, he could do it on top, because I guess I had enough fleshiness to do it. So I said, yeah, let's do that. So your answer to your question, NY space big C, is that yes, you can go under the muscle afterwards, but you'll probably have to get a lift, depending on how long you've had them the other way. Oh, Ravina asks, have you ever had a Lesbian encounter? Lesbian. I call it Lesbian. I was kind of like a Madonna poser lesbian when I was younger. And Tiggy and I, you know, when we'd get really drunk, kind of like played around, but not much. But we did play for the cameras type of thing, and for, not those cameras, but I mean in the sense of when we were working with clients, so we kind of pretend, because they just thought we were women, right? So, you know, we'd kind of put on a show type of thing. But and a couple times when I was really loaded, I did have full on, yeah, a couple times. So that's what that is. I do believe that, I think that's why I love my Graham so much, is because he's like the first guy, heterosexual man that I know that's really, that I can talk to like I'm talking to one of my girlfriends, you know, really great, like I can talk about everything. Like he's very emotionally available, and yeah, I think that's what it's about. Oh, and hi, Billy Johnson. I completely didn't see you, that you're there. My gay boy fan from South Carolina. I wonder if you're the Billy I think it is. Anyways, love to you. And then Leanna S. asked, are you ever going to meet my husband? Well, if I did leave that little part in the video where he walked in and before I was finished taping this, then you met him. That's my honey Graham. And so please follow me on social media, and because I do share more of my personal life there if you want to check it out. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and yeah, that's about it. I don't have my website hooked up yet for everything, but it will be soon. And yeah, so you can follow me on there, and those links are in the description of all of my videos. Okay, so thanks a lot for partaking in the live last Sunday, and I'm glad I was able to answer most all of your questions, and I look forward to doing some more with you. I just love the community of doing it, and I can't wait to do it with other sisters too. Split screen and have everybody in. But it's such a great hangout, so please continue to keep coming back to the lives and help me, you know, monitor, make sure that, you know, any trolls are in there to let me know. And I guess I'm gonna have to, I guess I can get a monitor to help me if anybody does sneak in and start saying some stuff, because I want it to be a safe space. Otherwise, I love you guys. And remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe by touching my face down below and click the notification bell and like the video. And I will see you in my next upload or my live. Okay, bye. Love you. And namaste.